Voidle. But I don't know if EG are going to feel the same.
A Lee Sin ban against Diamond Procs. Is it 2011 again? No, it's not. But he's pulling them in again because yesterday he played it brilliantly. They've taken out Zed against Alex Ich and also the Sona from Voidle, a ban which has been thrown their way because they've realized that Gambit love having Sona in their lineup, which whatever the weather.
Now, I find that interesting because of how well Krepo played Sona in both of his games yesterday. I don't think he messed up a single crescendo, and I think he only missed one champion who was aiming for in all of them. It was a brilliant performance. And they had the option to first pick it. What this also means is Aatrox is open. Darien's played Aatrox, Wicked's played Aatrox, as is Zach, and I wonder what they're going to pick up.
Well, Shen's left open from this one, and it looks like we are going to be seeing Shen coming straight off that. We'll expect Wicked to be playing that and maybe able to earn his Bricked nickname here once again. We'll see from that one. Right now, Gambit are cycling through champions, most of which I'm not falling for right now. The Thresh, though, I would say has a very high chance of coming in, and a Zac they go for.
So the thing about the Shen being locked in, I think it's a little interchangeable with Snoopeh and Wicked. Snoopeh does tend to like those sort of utility type of jungles a little more. And I think the fact that Aatrox is still open, that Nasus is still available, even though Jarvan's been taken away, I think Evil Geniuses may keep that option open to maybe swap that one away because they haven't revealed anything with a Shen. You know, Shen just gives you that power of Stand United. What they do need to get to wrap around that will be a little bit more damage.
Well, let's see then. You can see discussions high amongst the team. It looks like they might go for the mid laner here. The thing is, on the blue side, it doesn't really matter when you put it in there. It can always be counter-picked off later than that. So
when I'm seeing an Orianna, it may be like the likes of an Orianna Vayne, and my thinking might be protect the Vayne comp. They might leave Orianna open. Now, I don't know if that was a bait to Gambit to say, hey, Alex, lock in Orianna, or if it's the comp they want to pill.
Well, if it was, Alex wasn't falling for because he insta-locked Twisted Fate. We also going to see the Snoop Doggy here once again as NASA's picked up for Snoop. We've been waiting for that one all day. Got it out on Twitter yesterday. When he plays Rengar and we can get the Snoop Lion out there, it's even better. But on the other side, Gambit going in for the Twisted Fate, and we're going to see an Evelynn here for Diamond in the jungle.
I'm very happy to see that. So with the Lee Sin being banned out, Diamond Procs is going to another one of his sort of signature champions. Evelynn, who he did very, very well with at the All-Star game, has not necessarily had the same level of success during the summer split now, but is definitely going to be a decent pickup, going to help out the ganks. And when you combo the likes of Destiny with the stealthed up Evelynn ganks, it's a very scary combo.
So Tristana, let's talk about Tristana here because Froggen's been playing AP Tristana. That's a definite possibility here for Evil Geniuses. Whether it actually gets locked in or not, we'll have to see, but I think Alex could actually have a couple of problems with that if it comes in.
The theory behind it is brilliant because Zac, Eve, they have to be in your face, they've got to be jumping around, they've got to be close up to you, and Buster Shot can get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
So I really like the idea of it, but it's very risky, and I think Kassadin's going to be better. As opposed to kicking people away, he can just rift walk to safety. So a little bit more of a traditional pick. Not going with the Protect the Vayne comp that I thought they may have with Orianna. Instead, trying to counter-pick Alex. So Froggen's decided that dealing damage and dealing with Twisted Fate is a little more important than protecting Yellowpete. And
we're going to be seeing Genja picking up the Misfortune here as well. So very comfortable champions across the board for Gambit.
Yeah, and I would say comfort champions even for Evil Geniuses as well. Maybe with the exception of Yellowpete's Vayne, which is not something that we traditionally associate with him. It is a very, very good comp, and it's actually very reminiscent of what MVP Ozone ran just earlier today in the OGM, but as opposed to putting an AP damage dealer in the mid lane, they had Zed. It worked very well with him for one reason. If the damage dealers of Kassadin and Vayne can get ahead early, it becomes very difficult to kill them because Lulu just goes Stand United. And if that doesn't work, Lulu goes Wild Go. If that doesn't work, Stand United comes in. I'm 2 steps ahead of myself.
His brain is too fast for even himself.
Quick shot.
That is the... Oh, God. So we're gonna get into game here then. And the final time that Evil Geniuses and Gambit are going to be meeting up here. And as you said, comfortable champions pretty much across the board for this one. And I'm intrigued to see whether this boot camp has had an effect on Gambit in the way you said. And I think you made a good point in that they've beaten yesterday teams that they'd already beaten. And today is when we're going to find out if they can really be a different Gambit and change the results that have been going against them so far in the summer split.
So just as we're loading up into the game, the one thing I really want to talk about is the Twisted Fate pick. We've seen it once yesterday on Alex again. It was against MYM, and he did very well with the champion. Twisted Fate in particular, yes, the global passive was changed, but I don't feel like that's the real nerf to the champion. The biggest change came to pick a card. And what used to happen with pick a card is you would have a 10-second timer. You'd push the button, you could lock in a gold card on the first cycle within like 1 or 2 seconds, and then you have 8 seconds of zoning. Nobody can get in range, nobody can walk up to you, and because that threat was always there. That's now been changed to a 4-second lock-in time, followed by a 6-second potential to throw. So it's significantly different, and it gives you a much safer time frame to work around. And we'll have to see how well he can work against Froggen's Cassidy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not even the difficulty of being able to pull it quicker from this one, because these guys could probably do that if it's a 2-second time frame for it. So it's all about that whole zoning possibility in there as well. And if anyone can pull this one off, Alex might just be that guy. And then you see the head-to-head. We've mentioned it before. 3-0 is the lead for EG. And of course, Gambit didn't win in week 8 because that would then not be 3-0 for EG. We're being trolled here by the stats, man. He's busy working out the maths on the table for the end of the week, guys, so don't worry about that one. So here we go then. Level 1. Right now, both teams set out in a line across the entire map.
Who would have guessed a defensive start from the stalwarts of Season 2 with semi-Season 2 reminiscent compositions, albeit with some new champions? I think we're going to have a slow laning phase. You can see that both teams have actually swapped their solo laners to the bottom, both of their duo laners to the top. And yesterday when EG did this, Wickd was playing Aatrox against NIP's Mima, who was on Yorick. And he specifically wanted the matchup. He said, I can win this. I've been playing the solo queue. I want that. And I think the same situation may have come up now. Shen can do very well against Zach in the early game.
So, are we going to see anything happen here? Just the side of it says, probably not from what we're seeing. But we did see Shen going down there. And it's like, you know what? I'm going top, guys. I'm going to go top from this one. And it'll leave that Vayne Lulu down in the bottom versus the Zac. It looks like both teams going to start on the bottom side of their jungles, which means the red for Snoopeh and the blue for Diamond.
Technically advantage Gambit because their wards are deeper. So they were brave enough to extend a little bit past the river, and they'll have a little bit more knowledge to work with. The Explorer ward that was put down near the red buff, or the ward that was there, has just been cleared out thanks to a very early pink ward by Krepo. And that serves 2 purposes. Number 1, clears the vision, and number 2, it's against an Eve. So if Diamondprox tries to invade, he will be revealed.
Yeah, that's very, very true from that one. We can expect more pink wards coming out than normal here in this game because of that Evelyn, which could be a bit of a thorn in the EG side. But we've seen Eves as well that just haven't really got going. And I'd say even Eves from Diamond that have not really got going. But look at this. Pink ward down on top of the blue. Diamond is going to be able to come across from this one. Doesn't have Smite available, though. That's the real problem.
Snoopeh knows that there's something up here. He's playing this defensive. He's been caught.
He's going to get caught. There is a flay coming down. The Ignite is burning, and first blood comes in for Diamond. What an execution there coming out of Gambit.
Voidle and Diamondprox read Snoopeh perfectly. Voidle was hanging around the side. He did the flash flay combo, held him in place. Diamondprox gets first blood. He gets to steal the buff away, and we may see a 3v1 tower dive against a level 1 Shen. This is a scary, scary time if you are Wickd.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be scary from this one. And interesting to see what he's skilled in first year, because I'm pretty sure he's not going to have that Shadow Dash available.
Faint.
No, he doesn't. So this is dangerous.
He's 1 creep away from hitting level 2. So with the taunt and the feint, it might keep him in play a little bit longer. Diamondprox has just been revealed, and he's actually just scared Snoopeh away. I think they want the tower more than they want the kill.
Yeah, that certainly looks to be the case from this one. But again, great zoning, positional play there coming out of Gambit and of Diamond in particular.
And while all that was going on, Alex even left the lane to move up towards top. They want to do 2 things here. Snoopeh's been caught.
Oh, that hook almost landing from Voidle there off the side. That could have been a dead Snoopeh for a second time if Voidle had have connected there.
Diamond is doing so much work right now because the main focus of keeping Shen back, keeping Wickd down, is they want to delay his level 6. They want to buy a couple of minutes time where Alex can use Destiny later in the game without worrying about Stand United. And that's definitely going to play into their favor. We see how impactful the first Destiny was from Alex yesterday, securing a double kill and 2 towers, actually. So we'll see if they can mirror that right now.
And the problem is Wickd has no choices really right now, because we know that the best way to defend against a 3-man push on a turret is to have your jungler come cover it, but they're behind in levels, so they can't actually stay there. They're being zoned out of it completely. Wickd has to simply wait until that turret goes down and then move out, but he's got to be careful on that front as well, that Diamond isn't sniffing around.
So Diamondprox has spent more time in EG's jungle farming than he has in his own right now.
Than Snoopeh has.
Even Snoopeh as well. Snoopeh was forced back 3 separate times in the top lane. He was forced to recall, go back to the bottom lane. He's level 2 to Diamond's level 4. He's got 5 CS to Diamond's 16. And he's been forced to go double golems and now raid camp just to try and make it up. This is a massive deficit in the very early game here that EG needs to make up.
And here comes another red buff for Diamond. The first one, of course, on his side of the jungle of the game, but pretty much going to refresh that red buff as it's about to run out. So that is just perfect timing here for Diamond. He goes back away on his path. Snoopeh only at level 3 now, right now, and look at the creep score between them. That tells a big story.
Yeah, at this point in time, Snoopeh is just basically a non-factor. He's going to be reliant on a Wither and an ultimate to be an impact in the later game. He's not even clearing the wolf camp. He has no idea where he wants to go. He's unsure of the pressure. And we even see Froggen teleporting to the mid lane just to not miss CS. So even that ability is not available. EG looks a little lost.
Is Snoopeh trying to delay the wolf camp here so that it doesn't get taken away? I mean, he needs that farm now, to be fair, in my opinion, to get himself straight back into this one. This is very interesting stuff. He's now going to go back into there, so there's obviously a big thought process gone in behind that one, and other than delaying it so that it can't be taken away, there's no other explanation in my head.
The other alternative is that he was playing a little bit of bait to maybe try and see if there was any Gambit vision to try and pull Gambit into the jungle. But other than that, it's a very questionable move. Right now, 2 members of Gambit trying to start off yet another early Dragon. Gambit, one of the most prolific Dragon control teams in the European LCS. They are scared away a little bit by Nasus.
Yeah, I'll move away from that one. No danger of him hitting level 6 anytime soon, though. And now Diamond is coming on towards Froggen, who is level 6 here. And will, of course, therefore be able to just rift walk out to safety. No real danger there for Froggen as the hook landing onto Yellowpete down in this bottom lane. And so far, been impressed with Voidle this week. Last week, I wasn't super impressed with him. There was nothing to be impressed about from Gambit's side at all, but he looks like a different player completely here in week 9.
Yeah, Voidle's been doing very good in the 2 matches they've played, and you can see when comboed with Diamondprox, who has basically transitioned to ganking bottom lane significantly during scrims. We've heard that Diamond really likes to try and help Genja and Voidle out, what they need to do in this game, because with all the pressure on the top lane tower, Genja's 15 CS behind his opponent.
And I think they smell this one here a little bit as well. The fact that Evelyn not been seen for quite a while, and Snoopeh's coming down, but look at him, he's level 3 right now. And Alex look at this, they're going straight into this one. Alex is going to come in with Destiny. Snoopeh, is he going to go down here? Wildcards from Alex are surely going to rip straight through. They're all going very low. Actually, they managed to pick up 2 kills in the process, and that might not be all. Genja's gone very low, and credit to EG, they're able to come out actually with a level trade from that.
Wither, Exhaust, and Condemn was enough crowd control and CC to slow and delay Gambit. In conjunction with the tower, it was able to at least get a 2 for 2. The problem is, both of those kills landed in Krepo's backhands. And when you need your damage dealers to be scary, not your support, that's scary, because Alex is the one that picked up both of them for the bottom lane. So, mid lane Twisted Fate, not a mere Destiny from the first time.
Not bad. And the thing is, it was Voidle that went down along with the jungler for Gambit, but it was Yellowpete, the AD carry, and the jungler Snoopeh, who's already so far behind anyway. So Gambit probably going to be happy either way with how that one turned out for them. What's next on the cards? Looks like it will be a blue for EG, secured this time around. There's a pink ward there for Gambit, but no one really close enough to do anything about it because they're doing Dragon.
So we do see Diamondprox sitting on the Dragon with the help of Voidle. Smite is up, and you'll see Voidle tanking this one up. And obviously Diamond just finishing as quickly as possible. Gambit are really roaming and moving as a solid unit now. It's something that Even yesterday, they were doing a little bit more sloppy, if I'm very honest. Their games were a little chaotic. They were kind of all over the place, but they're moving with focus and direction now, and it's working very well as they secure that first dragon and a 3,500 gold lead.
So Snoopeh has now managed to hit level 4. This red buff's actually going to be going over to Yellowpete. By the way, he's just going to smite that. He needed the help with it so that he doesn't fall low enough that he has to go back again. And
he needs the experience. You can see he's just about to hit level 5 right now. So he's that far behind that he needs to pick up those buffs, cannot afford to donate them. In addition, Peter's doing relatively okay. He's sitting on even CS with his opponent, and the lane is not, it's not a lost lane, even though that tower took a lot of damage. So I think it works out best for EG.
Yeah, and the fact is he's Vayne, so he's going to be getting stronger and stronger as things go along. Anyway, Genja has got 2 out of a possible 3 Doran's Blades, we're going to say, for this one. Picking up those Berserker Greaves from the start of this one after getting those 2 assists in there for the 2 kills that Alex Ich picked up, and that's given him the sheen here as well.
Now, the biggest item pickup that's happened in the first 10 minutes here is the fact that Diamondprox already has his Spirit of the Elder Lizard, and combo that with the stealth, the damage that he already has. These next couple of minutes are very crucial for EG. If they continue to die and lose objectives like towers and dragons, Gambit can really get a monumental advantage that may be too difficult to come back from. If, however, they hold on, they may be able to stall out until Eve's damage and power isn't quite as powerful.
Well, Diamond is waiting here once again by the Wraiths, and look at this. The bottom lane is coming up from Gambit. They're going to 5-man push the mid turret.
Genja's got bullet time as well, so if any crowd control lands, Genja will throw that bullet down on top. Going to pop the impure shots, and they're going to get the middle tower.
Yeah, no problem. They don't even need to use those ultimates at this point. What they were going for is that turret, and they managed to get that one without any reply. That was very quick movement from Gambit as they push that bottom lane out, move the bottom lane into the mid lane, and it looked almost too easy for them. That was very reminiscent of Meet Your Makers yesterday.
Yeah, and the main thing is they're using the comp to their advantage. Eve is a very quick champion. Zac can fly across the map with that slingshot, and when Misfortune's strutting everywhere, that's a lot of movement speed. Wickd finds himself very overextended gold card. He's about to get locked in. Alex decides just to farm instead, and Diamond backs away. They could have done that, actually. I mean, even though that's a lot of HP on Wickd, he doesn't have much resistances.
Yeah. Could have been a possible target for them. Diamond, though, once he's buffs here, he's not going to let any of his buffs get stolen this game, that's for sure. Very possessive of his own jungle, is Diamond. He will kill you if you come in to his side. So he's going to be able to take that. Right now, it's a 3,500 gold lead for Gambit. Has Froggen here just headed home, or is he? Darien's actually going to go in there and auto-attack it and say, well, you can't kill me anyway, because you've got really nothing built up to do that. I'm just going to annoy you.
So Darien's moved himself to the mid lane, and they've sent Twisted Fate up top. Here comes Shen.
Yeah, Stan United coming down towards his bottom lane. Interrupted there indeed. Twisted Fate it was. It was Alex Ich that pulled that one off. Ping's going down on towards Alex. They're going to close in onto him here with 3 men. Snoopeh coming down as well. There is Destiny Pop, but are you going to get away? No, you're not. Wickd picks up the kill. It's 3-3 now in kills.
So they even up the kill, but that was a little bit questionable. How is it possible that a Twisted Fate, without expending flash, could just walk up to Wickd? He's got to pick his time to stand United a little more closely. Darien and Diamondprox are moving to the bottom lane here. They want to do another tower dive. With Let's Bounce and the Agony's Embrace, this is a dead Yellowpete and Krepo.
Oh, that's a very big face check coming out. Wild Growth does go down there on towards Yellowpete. The bounce is coming around as Voidle will tank up the turret, hooking Yellowpete. Kill comes down, but Voidle's going to die here. That will be Krepo getting himself another. And look at Froggen. He's picked off in the end by Diamond. Genja goes very low. Krepo has to flash away. Diamond's actually got no mana from this one. Had the red buff and thought it might be enough to push through with that, but it won't be. And that will end with a 2-for-1 in favor of Gambit plus a turret.
So the tower and the kills, that is a very big advantage. Once again, carries were taken out. They only lost their support, and if you're losing Voidle for a Froggen and a Yellowpete, that is a trade Gambit will do over and over and over again. And remember, Froggen teleported into that. He jumped into the fight to try and react and try save them, but I don't think he quite calculated how much damage and how much scariness was around. I want to highlight the fact that bullet time wasn't used, because I feel like Genja was very hesitant on his bullet times yesterday, and he is hesitant again today.
Yeah, and the thing is, he was hesitant, but the ones that he did throw off were made to count. So we'll see how that all develops a little bit later on here from Genja, who's got himself those 3 Doran's blades and the BF sword now added in there as well. So nothing really changing from Genja's build plan from day to day.
Yeah, the Genja build, it's a variance of Bloodthirster, Lost Whisper, GA, or now Triple Doran's, Bloodthirster, GA. Something like
and
that.
Tier, possibly.
I know he picked up a Black Cleaver relatively early yesterday, and that worked fairly well for Genja, but I definitely think that if they continue to press objectives like this, I would prefer to see Genja a little bit further in the back line and putting the bullet time down. It's a fairly short cooldown. Even at level 1, it is only a little over, you know, a little shy of 2 minutes. And between fights, that's basically what we're waiting.
Well, look at this, another buff steal coming out from Gambit. Genja says, thank you very much, I'll have that one. And that will be a little bit less for Wickd, even more less for Wickd, he's now got himself up to level 8, so he's finally clawing his way back there on the levels, but it might be just too little too late as Genja goes very, very deep.
Yeah, especially when you look at the itemization here. You've just got the Kindle gem sitting for Snoopeh and over for Diamond procs. A Haunting Guy's already completed. Combine that with Agony's Embrace and those hate spikes, it's very, very scary. Even Wickd, that's 2 hate spikes that have chunked down 15% of his HP.
Oh, now they're going in here on towards Krepo, and they absolutely explode him. Snoopeh trying to get away, but he's going to be hooked into the taunt down. The box is there as well. Here comes Genja. Is he going to go for the bullet time? No, he's not going to bother. They don't need it right now. They've got 3 kills. They're going to get the inner middle turret as well. And another out of nowhere perfect execution from Gambit. That looked like they were overextended there for a minute, 2 versus 3, and all of a sudden there's 5 there from Gambit.
It was the perfect flank as Wickd does manage to sidestep the hook. Froggen's now jumped back in here trying to defend, but he's forced out instantly. And I talked about how crucial these few minutes were for Evil Geniuses. They have not contained the Russians. And right now, a 5 tower to 1 is a 6,000 gold lead.
6,000 gold, 2.3 to spend for Alexich's Twisted Fate, and 1,000 each for both Evelyn and Misfortune at this point as well. So more spikes of power going to be coming the way here for Gambit. And well, as I said, they just look so well coordinated, but also because of this lead that they have, they're not really being challenged too much on those towers. And that's what happened to Meet Your Makers yesterday. They kind of bowed out without ever really being able to do anything.
I want to say a similar thing happened to Ninjas in Pajamas yesterday. When they were playing,
Dogs.
They simply didn't contest. They simply didn't fight. It was basically a 1 versus map game because the team never got involved. Now, EG tried to sneak a dragon away, but now they're in trouble.
They are in trouble from this one. Genja hanging off towards the side from this one. We see the first kill coming down. It's Alex at the backside. He was doing the work. He's actually going to take a lot of damage, but the bullet time comes through. It's done a lot for them as well. Finally, they finish off Alex, but at what cost for this one? Wickd headed back out towards the brush. He's going to try and stand united. He's standing nowhere from that one. It's only Froggen that survives once again. A 4-for-1 for Gambit this time around, and they stop Dragon with just a press of R from Alexich.
Every single time Gambit pick a fight, they secure an objective afterwards. They got top tower after first blood. They got 2 kills on bottom lane, lost it, but picked up a tower as well. Middle lane fight, secured 2 towers, and now Dragon as well. This is a 10,000 gold lead before 20 minutes, and they're already basically tower diving. We've seen it twice already this game. Gambit, it's just a matter of time before they force the next objective and maybe start considering Baron. They're so strong right now.
Well, Baron, an option for them less than most teams throughout the course of the season. So we'll see how that one goes here as Froggen going to come in on towards Darien. Froggen's got 2 levels on him here, but in usual Darien style, he doesn't care.
Doesn't care, hasn't died yet either. And Secret Agent Genja, 009, picking up all the assists, all of the kills, centralized and focused here on Diamond procs and Alexich. And that is a good sign for Evil Geniuses, because if they can kill, I would say Diamond procs more than Alex, that consistent damage and that scariness in team fights is significantly reduced because the gold is so heavily focused on those 2 champions.
And look at this. Gambit instantly pinging now for their next target here, objective-wise. It's going to be that turret in the middle lane. Diamond actually going to come through here on towards Wickd. He's got no turrets anywhere near him, and he is going to shadow dash away there. Hook came through, but in the meantime, as I said, they're going to push down towards this inner turret in this top lane as well. And honestly, with that Lich Bane in there for Alex, it's not lasting very long.
Yeah, bullet time is available as well, so if a fight were to break out, Genja could just throw that one down. Gold card catches Froggen. Nobody's going to follow up onto it, though.
No follow-up. Actually, there was a hook there from the side from Voidle, which also wasn't followed on through, and Gambit don't care. They just wanted to take that turret down. They've got all the vision control right now with Voidle having that Oracle Elixir onto him, and now they may try and finish off this opening here.
That's definitely a possibility, but very crucially, Blade of the Ruin King was just secured for Yellowpete. So in dueling potential or dueling fights, he's going to have that active, which is still very, very strong. 5-man Gambit. They started auto-attacking the inhibitor, but Genja's not in auto-attack range just yet. It's this standoff before we see who oversteps their bounds or who manages to land that crowd control first.
Diamond, look at him, he's kind of stalking off in the shadows here at the side, trying to get a decent angle to actually come around the side of them, and in the end Gambit say, you know what guys, we can't quite do this one, we can't force this, it's too risky, let's back off from it, take their blue buff here possibly, as Froggen and Wickd coming out. This is pretty dangerous stuff actually coming out. There's a stun card lands on towards Wickd. Darien dives headfirst in towards him, but Wickd able to walk away from that. Froggen is caught on his own in the lane, but Gambit concerned more by the inhibitor here.
Yeah, there's a few things that pulled him backwards. First of all, the lanes are pushing against Gambit. Both top and bottom are going to be on their lane, their side of the river very soon. In addition to that, their blue buff is up. The EG blue buff was up, and that's what forced them backwards. And now we're just in this little bit of an awkward phase where Gambit are still stacked, but they're not really ready to fall back. They still feel in a power position, and they're trying to take advantage of it by looking for a fight.
Well, they all just stood on top of a wall there and had to ping Voidle back because he missed it, apparently. There's a hook coming through. Froggen not going to be caught out by that one. The red buff's there as well for the taking, if Gambit noticed.
Yeah, and even if that hook had landed, that would have been a scary hook to follow up, because Gambit were on full retreat. There was nobody nearby. Genja's doing the best he can to steal this buff away, and he will do it relatively safely. And as long as he doesn't get spotted, he can make it back to the rest of his team to try and defend their first tower, and the first time that Gambit will have to defend all game.
Yeah, and there's the ulti actually coming out of Diamond here. Are we going to see them going in? Destiny comes in. Bullet time comes from the side. They're being absolutely ripped to pieces from this one. Let's Bounce comes in there. There's 2 kills coming down. Darien, is he going to get the slow? What? Hooked over the wall in the middle of the rift walk here. Froggen, is he going to be able to fall? He goes off towards the backside, but they're going to follow through. Diamond's been attacked by the minions, but he will survive as well. And that, in the end, will be a 3-0. Yellowpete getting away with what looks like 0 health there. Very, very little. Krepo walked away as well, but that hook to catch up with Froggen, amazing.
And even more impressive now, because of the kills they've got enough damage and enough tankiness early to force an early Baron. Because of the advantages they've built up and the composition they have, they can take this one down before Evil Geniuses can even respond. There is a teleport available for Froggen. He is going to be alive in 5 seconds, and he may try challenge, but there's no wards. He can't even get in range.
No, can't even get in there. And Darien is tanking up the Baron pretty much there the entire time, going low, but not low enough to be worried. And that is the first Baron of the game going over to Gambit, and they're going to shop with all that, well, lots and lots of gold that they've got. And
this is something Gambit did yesterday as well. The reason I felt like Baron was an objective for them, they took a 17-minute Baron yesterday against Alternates, if I recall correctly. They got a top lane fight, took the tower down, got some kills, and then with the advantage they have, they took Baron. And it's just something that as a team, I think Gambit and SK have learned when they can do it within the boundaries of their composition.
Now we just saw one wildcard pretty much taking Yellowpete to half HP. That's how much more dangerous Alex has got since that last shopping trip. Adding in that Rabadon's death cap now to his Lich Bane also means that when it comes to pushing down those turrets and inhibitors, that they're going to do it a whole lot easier. And if you look at the items there and compare them, well, yeah, Froggen's going to get caught out from this one. Alex actually going pretty low from this, but here comes Diamond from the side. Froggen going to try and rift walk away. Slippery character that he is. There's a stun card pulled. Are they going to have the range? Ooh. Yes, he goes to Yellowpete. Masses of damage. He flashes over. Krepo's trying to be a hero. He goes down again. That's a double for Genja. And Alex is alive.
Alex just decimated Yellowpete's HP bar. Yellowpete needs to pick up some magic resist very, very soon. We've seen a second item Guardian Angel from Candy Panda in the previous game, and I think that's exactly what Yellowpete should be doing now, because he's simply not a threat. There's nobody that's going to be afraid of him because of how tanky and scary Gambit is.
I think he was a little bit unlucky there as well. The wildcards were actually meant to go towards Froggen, and Yellowpete appeared perfectly on the left-hand card, which compared with which added in there with the stun card, as Froggen here is going to be face checking and then rift walking away. Froggen would have been dead so much more this game if we didn't have that Rift Walk.
Yeah, that's the truth. 1-2-5 right now. Diamond Procs, they're trading good damage. You know, even when Froggen can get some spells down, it's enough to at least, you know, hurt. But there's no backup, there's no follow-up. Snoopeh is still only sitting on that Kindle gem and only recently completed a Spirit of the Ancient Golem. He is so far behind right now. He's a non-factor in these fights.
Yeah, absolutely not. His Wither goes down, and that's pretty much all she wrote from that side. As Voidle here actually going to get locked up, but that might just be a catalyst for them to go fighting through the bullet time. As hammered away at Genja. He gets 2 from that. There is Alex coming in with Destiny at the side. It ends with a triple kill as Snoopeh goes down as well. And I tell you what, Gambit might just look to finish right here, right now.
Yeah, they've got so much damage with that Lichbane Deathcap combo on Alex and all of the attack damage from Genja. They're going to be able to take out the first Nexus turret. This is a 25-minute game as they're onto the second Nexus turret. Another flawless game for Darien. Mission Impossible secured twice, and they're not done yet.
No, still picking up kills here. Alex gets himself another onto Krepo. Well, the Nexus is going to go, and Gambit will beat Evil Geniuses for the first time this season. And what a crucial time to do it here on day 2 of our final week when everybody in the middle of the pack is tied up. Brilliant, brilliant play coming out of Gambit. And I think we can now safely say, quick shot, the boot camp worked.
Think is the understatement. This just 100% confirms it. Gambit came out swinging. They read Snoopeh from the very, very first blood of the game at, what, about 2.5 minutes on at the blue buff, and just steamrolled him from there. Every single tower, every single dragon. 2 flawless players on the side of Gambit in the form of Darien and Genja once again. Flawless performance.
7-0-11 Genja. We saw that bullet time there at the end, and that's what we were talking about. He didn't use it too much between levels of 6, 9, 10 even, but as soon as he got to the big fights there at the end, he was not shy to let rip with that, and he was doing so much for them.
So the thing about that team fight that really had me questioning as soon as it started, it looked as though Voidle got caught. It looked as though he was there.
Did yesterday.
But I felt like it was bait. I felt like the way he moved in, there was still a tower up, you know, he was moving into the base, and initially I was like, maybe you shouldn't be going for Thresh, just let him go, let him go. And unfortunately, all of EG piled in, and Genja just sat on the other side of the wall and said, what are you going to do? Bullet time across 4 of you.
With the let's bounce from Darien, who instantly leaped over the wall, got them all knocked up. That's the perfect time for the bullet time.
So the thing about this game as well, so Gambit are now 3-0 on the weekend. That was EG's first loss. They've beaten teams they've already been beaten, and now they've beaten a team that they historically have a rich and storied history with. They know how to play against EG. So we'll have to see how the next 2 games go, because they seem to be checking all the boxes. They're consistent from the split. They're beating teams they used to beat, and where to go from here but up.
Well, we'll have to see about that one in our coming games here for today and tomorrow. But for now, we're going to head over to Demon and Jason at the analysis desk for a look back at the game.
Thank you much, Joe. And wow. Wow. Joe just said it himself, you know, when they boot camp, it seems to work. And Gambit, once they buckle down, once they find a little bit of time to get that proper practice in, they absolutely demolish teams.
I think one thing we really need to do right now, take a moment of silence. Second game in a row, Darien hasn't died. That is impressive. That is really impressive. But yeah, I mean, when Gambit want to win, you're definitely right. They work for it and they make it happen. And that game, I mean, I wanted to show a replay from that game. But then I realized it's probably illegal to do something like that, to show something like that. But overall, it was just really well played by Gambit. You saw a lot of comfort champions. Diamond, who hasn't been successful on Evelyn this entire season so far, did really well this game. That level 1, or not level 1, but the early kill he got on a Snoopeh, refreshing his double buffs, gave him such a huge advantage because you saw them take advantage of that by going top lane and pushing Wickd off the turret right away. And I think you and I both know how much he hates when that happens.
And obviously we saw Froggen, he had the cast in, trying to counter out Alexic's Twisted Fate. Didn't really work out.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because he was actually out farming at 188 to 154 CS at the end of the game. But Kasten, you need that like little kill, a little bit of a bump in the beginning just to kind of start getting your kills coming in more and more and more. And Gambit, I mean, they took, was it like a 17-minute inhibitor turret, like a 16-minute inhibitor turret, and that is really early to do. This game had low farm across the board. At about 17 minutes in, or 19 minutes in, we had 130 CS on Alex as the highest CS in the game. Usually you see close to that 200 mark at that point.
And that's something I want to talk about, because how many times have we mentioned the fact that Genja's off farming? He wasn't doing that. He was in with the team. He went aggressive. He was constantly going in there. And sometimes he was the first man starting the fight.
Yeah, we actually saw that happen yesterday. And that was like the big thing, the big change. He's always off farming by himself while the rest of his team is grouped up pushing somewhere. But since he started to come with this team, he's actually still staying ahead in CS, and he's still picking up a lot of kills, and it gives Gambit so much more control around that map. And the thing was, he was actually behind in CS in the beginning of that game. Because of the play they made early on, he was behind 20 CS against Yellowpete, but in the end, he ended up going up about 50 CS.
Well, thank you very much, Jason. We are, of course, going to go across to our interview, and it is one of the men that have made a huge sacrifice to be here today because it's his wife's birthday, and yet here he is, Alex Hitch, alongside Shocks.
Thank you very much. We'll get into that in a second. First, we're going to talk about the game a little bit, of course, Alex. Another victory here for Gambit. Now, going into this one, EG Gambit, that is a classic matchup. You know this team very well. So what were you maybe careful for going into this matchup?
So we knew almost every hero that they will pick. I think that was really a huge advantage because they're picking the same heroes against us and they won with this one time. So we were thinking about that. We banned out the most scary heroes of Froggen. It's Ari. We were not sure if he plays Fizz or not, so we decided to ban it because, you know, we just like to ban it because it's fish. And we banned out Jarvan, so we were pretty sure that Snoopeh will pick Nasus. And after that, it's like it was pretty obvious that they would first pick Shen because it's a really good pick, and we knew that they will go with Shen, Cassidy, and Vayne comp. And so we decided that Nasus is really good to play against because I can freely stay mid with Twisted Fate and against Nasus and Cassidy. So around that we got really good pick and it worked.
Yeah, let's delve a little deeper into that Twisted Fate Vikander playing against Nasus. First, Twisted Fate, there's been some changes to him, but you obviously still think he's viable. So what do you think of the changes for your playstyle?
So I think that Twisted, the changes, there was huge nerf of the card because you can't lock a stun card for 10 seconds. It's only 4 seconds now, and it's only 8 seconds rotation, and it was 10 seconds too. But there was some hidden slide buff for Twisted Fate player because all the gold is now going to Twisted Fate. And I really love that because it gives you a really huge advantage against other mid laner, and not every player is thinking about that because the gold was distributed between all the team, and the only players that need that gold is AD Carry and the Twisted Fate. And now if you're going for some comp around Twisted Fate, that Twisted Fate needs farm, it's even much better.
A lot of kills went to you indeed. Tell me about that 4-man gank in the bottom lane, which eventually didn't turn out that well.
So there was huge miscommunication between us. We knew that Nasus should come there, and we wanted to gank it before he will come. But Diamond thought that it would be better to get the red buff and get the Drake freely, and we wanted to dive 3-man. So because of that miscommunication, we lost our timing on that gank, and Nasus could come and Cassidy TP'd, so, but it still went really well for us. It could be much worse. So it was only 2 for 2, and I got 2 frags, so I could snowball.
Yeah, the kills went to you, so that was very good. One last question about the game, maybe. You said you anticipated the Nasus pick, and is that why you spent so much, you put so much effort in making sure that Evelyn was able to roam early and get those kills early?
So we really wanted the Nasus pick because Evelyn is one of the best junglers against Nasus, and Jarvan would be much better against Evelyn because Evelyn totally negates Nasus slow. And I think that was their choice that Nasus started red buff, and their double lane couldn't help Nasus, and they didn't invade on our blue. So it happens really often that your second buff gets denied because of that. It happens to a lot of teams in NA, in EU, because the double lane got nothing to do at early if they are 2v1, so the support can roam everywhere, so he just goes to the buff.
All right, so it turned out very well for you guys. A good snowball and another victory, 3-0. Now, it is not often that someone volunteers for an interview on the couch, but you did because you have a message for the home front.
Yeah, so I want to say happy birthday to my lovely wife, Katya, and I want to sing happy birthday song. So I'm not the best singer, but still, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Katya, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to Katja, of course, from everybody here in the studio as well. Thank you very much, Alex, and good luck in their upcoming matches.
Thank you.
All right, as for us, we're going to take a short break, but when we return, the Lemon Dogs take on Alternate.